both of you feel so strongly against this, I guess I would have to ask the mayor to veto so we can get the revenue from the Easter train, the ordinance repealing to give us that time, and then we can move forward with the repeal. You would still be able to collect the revenue during that time, and then we could replace. So that would, does that make sense?
It makes sense you use the original ordinance.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Is council okay with that?
Yeah, and I believe procedurally we have a motion to table and we're still waiting for a second.
I'll second, council.
That's just since 2018 or 6.
Correct.
So it's a motion to table 2018-6.
And that's because we will be discussing this in work session, or more time to read.
I'd like to give council more time, since Councilman Woods and Councilman Davis did not have the appropriate amount of time to go ahead and review the ordinance. I'd really rather, I feel more comfortable with their votes being fully knowledgeable of what they're passing.
It was late and I wasn't at the work session, I feel better too.
Right, and the citizens. So we can roll call vote, Vicki?
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes.
So, yeah, I'd like to move 2018-6A.
Second.
I would like to table 2018-6A.
Second.
Roll call vote, Vicki?
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes. Okay, now that we've sifted through that. We do have a consent agenda. I did see one before I go. Councilman Lutz, did you see anything on the consent agenda that you would like
Yes.
pulled?
I see one.
And that one was, sir?
That's for the license, the limousine license.
Yes, sir.
In the papers, he registered a 2009 Chevrolet station wagon, but on his insurance, it's a 2006 Kia.
If you noticed also, his information is off from 2017 in January. It is not current. It is over a year old. And I believe he was only looking for it through the notary was expired as well. It was over a year old, so. And the insurance card was expired as well.
I also, he seems to be running the business out of his home, which is in the Village Arms Apartments, and I'm not sure that that's legal. So I guess we would have to check with not only zoning, but then to check to see what the Village Arms lease allows.
Procedurally, I think we should dispatch with the consent agenda, which isn't being debated, and then we can move on to that through motion and debate.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman DeGirolamo, Council Vicewoman DeGirolamo, did you have a Vice President? Sorry, Vicewoman.
Staying on. 2018-46 was the only one I saw. Actually, no, 2018-43 I'd like to have discussion on as well. That is the submission of a strategic plan for the Phillipsburg Municipal Alliance Grant. The numbers in here, reading through the 2018 budget, we only allocated $2,000 on that.
So just to clarify, we have pulled 44. We have pulled
2018, 43, and 44.
43 and 44 so far. Councilman McVeigh? I'm good. Councilman Davis?
Yeah, I have no further additions.
If I may ask, I think we should have 2018 50, the change order for the fire truck. He's separate. Vote on that.
Okay, so pull 50 from the consent agenda as well.
And if I could ask, just as a point of information, I don't think we need formal debate on 2018-49, but was that paid in full? That's the only information I need to know.
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a few questions with regard to 47, so we can go ahead and pull that one as well. Have we eliminated the entire consent agenda?
Pretty much.
So if the council going to vote on the consent agenda, it'll be 2018 45, 46, 48, and 49.
Yes.
That are being moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Unopposed? Okay.
A separate vote on the 2018-50.
Yeah, we discussed it. That's okay. So we can go ahead and review 43, a resolution authorizing the submission of a strategic plan for the Phillipsburg Municipal Alliance Grant fiscal year 2019. Council Vice President DiGirolamo, I believe that you had asked.
Yeah, I'll trust those that are more familiar with it, but I did notice 2017, we spent $16,172. The proposed this year was $2,000, and I'm looking at higher numbers in here. Now, I notice a lot of this does come through and coordinate through Northwest Cap, so I was wondering if we had a proposal from them for these funds, since it says strategic plan. Does anybody know? It is, but do we know how we're spending it? Because the money differs from what I saw in the budget.
The mayor.
There is a strategic plan through the Municipal Alliance. There's different programs, education programs, bartending programs, alcohol, high school programs such as you received to get. And the grant is usually used completely up at the end of the year. There's no, and if you don't vote on this grant tonight, we'll lose it.
So the grant will be for this amount of money, even though we haven't fully allocated the line items out?
Right.
Is that, okay, that's all.
I'd like to move to adopt 2018-43.
Before going forward, Mayor, is this the one that Ms. Mead was speaking to us about? She did say in the email that we wouldn't lose it, but we would have to reapply, just to clarify.
I believe what I read is that we would lose it for this year.
Yes.
Mm,
This is not in on the 21st.
I asked her specifically, I mean, I'm okay with it, as long as you guys feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You're good?
I just wanted to know what.
Okay.
Yeah. Josh, did you make that motion?
Yeah, I made the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Lutz,
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh,
Yes.
Council President Fulper.
Yes. Moving forward to Resolution 2018-44, resolution to provide for an application for a limousine operator's license for Halim A. Bori. We can, motion first,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
open for discussion.
I don't think we should give it those.
I don't need it.
I agree.
Roll call.
Yeah.
Councilman Davis?
I agree. I think regarding the investigation of this specific lease, I don't think that's in our purview, but I do think that we should review whether the zoning requirement is acceptable to be operating in that district. But I concur, I'll be making a motion to postpone indefinitely, so until pending a reapplication from the Bori family regarding this license. So I move to postpone indefinitely.
So there was a motion on the floor to postpone it indefinitely. Does Councilman Davis have a second? I would motion for denial.
Oh, we already have a motion
Yeah.
in a second.
Hold on. So Councilman Davis, so there's a motion and a second for discussion. Councilman Davis moved to table indefinitely. Is there a second to that?
No.
Okay, so then we go back to the original motion.
Yes.
So you do a roll call as to approve the issuance.
That's correct.
Okay, that was the motion that was made.
Roll call vote, Vicky?
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
No.
Councilman Davis?
No.
Councilman Lutz?
No.
Councilman McVeigh?
No.
Council President Fulper?
No. Okay, the next one is Resolution 2018-47, resolution authorizing the award of a contract for professional services with RT Environmental Services Incorporated for radon air testing in an office at the former Freeman Elementary School.
I'll move.
Second.
Open for discussion. What was this for, Vicky?
Radon?
In what office?
Um,
In the entire building? Was this already completed? All right, I guess my question is it common practice for us to award a contract to a company that's already permitted to perform the work? I mean, my question is, shouldn't we be giving them the contract before doing the work? Okay, in this case, was it a special scenario?
I'm sure this is an additional radar.
I don't know.
The only radon.
Was it, Council President, was it an emergent situation?
That's a good question, Councilman Bay. Was it an emergent situation? Do you know who ordered it? The mayor? Mayor?
It was suggested by RT Environmental as part of the overall environmental testing. It's just limited to the basement. There were no other rooms that exceeded the uppermost limit. And it's not required by the school systems. It was just an extra layer of protection requested by one employee in the building. So we did it to keep everyone safe.
But I'm glad that we're keeping everyone safe. I guess in the future, I would just ask that before we permit the contracted work, maybe it could come before council, should come before council for approval.
I have to admit, Council President, I don't follow that bill too much. I make the decisions on do it, don't do it, but I get your point that you'd rather vote on it prior to than after the work is done. It's a scheduling issue.
Okay, it's probably something we can work out in the
Right,
future.
I get it. I
Alright.
get it.
I'm willing to, if anyone else have discussion on this one? 2018-47?
Yeah.
Yes, with No? Roll call vote, Vicky.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. Okay. Resolution 2018-50, which is a change order for the fire department.
Right, I feel that should be a separate vote on it, because it's some money, but the fire, I've read it thoroughly, and the fire department really needs to change order.
I'll move, Council.
Second.
Discussion.
Sorry, Councilman Lutz, can you please clarify your position? I didn't hear very well.
What's that?
I didn't hear what you said. Can you please repeat that for me?
Yes, I feel, I read the whole thing in detail, and I feel that the firemen do need the change order in order to finish their vehicle.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, Vicky?
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Little?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
Yes. Okay, we have a habitability hearing for Angel and Donna Artis for 32 Heckman Street. Yes, sir.
All right, so this is a continuation of a hearing that was originally for the council back in October of 2017. Notices were sent out to the property owner of record. And the last name is A-R-C-E, it's Art or Ars, that's how you pronounce it, but it's A-R-C-E. We did receive communication from Donna, I'll say Ars for the purpose of the record, regarding the notice of continuation. And Council President, if I may, I'll just read that into the record.
Yes.
Sorry. Hello, Mr. Wenner. I'm in receipt of your letter dated today, February 14th, 2018, regarding an investment property located at 32 Heckman Street, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. The property is currently under foreclosure proceedings with the state of New Jersey. Every attempt is being made to sell the property before the actual foreclosure. I realize the issue this property is causing the town and neighbors, but every effort is being made to finalize a sale. An interested buyer has submitted several offers to the bank since December. The negotiation process is often delayed due to the bank and investor taking several days to reply or make a counteroffer. I am pushing both sides every day to come to a final offer agreement. The offers on each side are now within a few $1,000s, so it seems very likely that it can finalize within the next few weeks, depending on the timeliness of the bank's replies. Once the offer is approved, the property will be sold within 30 days. We have no intention of renting this property any further. Again, we should be closing on the home very soon. Parenthetically, I think by that she means she should be divesting herself of the property shortly. We are in the final stages of selling this property to a buyer that will restore the home according to the codes in the township of Phillipsburg. That's not town, that's township. I would appreciate your understanding with this matter. We are making every attempt to rectify the issues and finalize the sale. Sincerely, Donna Ars. As this is a continuation of a matter that was previously brought before the council under the habitability codes of the town of Phillipsburg, a notice was properly given. I don't know if Ms. Ars is here tonight. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I do apologize. Or any representatives, any lien holders, representatives from the bank who may have an interest in this property, if they're here. I don't see any. So I think this property is well known to the council, and they were asked to be present for the council tonight. Apparently they're not here, and it's up to the council discussion regarding what steps, if any, they wish to take with the property. Just to be clear regarding the procedures regarding a habitability complaint, the town council can issue an order for either repair or demolition per the statute, absent there being, I would say, unequivocal evidence that the property is not going to be repaired. It must first require repairs to be made before it issues a demolition order. The order for timeframe for any order issued by the council is 30 days. The property owner or any lien holder has the opportunity to comply with that order within that 30-day time frame, or to appeal the order itself in the Superior Court of New Jersey. Absent that happening and the expiration of the 30 days occurring, the town can reserve upon itself the right to effectuate either the repairs or the demolition as necessary and as appropriate to the property, those costs being imposed as a first position lien in the form of a municipal lien against the subject property. So that's kind of the legal framework that you're faced with tonight. I'll be quiet.
Attorney Winter, counsel, I've been dealing with this property since August 9th of 2017. I believe Mayor Ellis has been dealing with it far longer than I. This property's been a continuous nuisance to the adjoining neighbors located at 34 Hector Street. Pest infestation, various odors of what's perceived to be feline or canine urine, windows open, causing pipes to burst, water leaks causing property damage. The back door, the last time that I'd seen the property from the adjoining yard, was, it was broken into and subsequently boarded up by a gentleman by the name of Gary Groff, who claims to be the caretaker. I did reach out to a gentleman who had claimed at the time to be the owner. The gentleman's name was Mr. Eric Einholz. This was on August 9th of 2017. Mr. Einholz had informed me that he would have the property cleaned up in a week from August 9th. He was putting off the cleaning of the property because he was trying to purchase a property from the Ars family for $1,000 instead of the $16,500 that was the listed price. It's now February 20th, and we aren't any closer to rectifying this issue. I've read the Ars email, and I've also heard Mr. Einholz's statement, and I see where both of them are blaming the neighbors for the issues, and quite frankly, without swearing, it's nonsense. It's garbage. So I'm going to ask council to issue either an administrative warrant to go into the building. It needs to be cleaned. The homeowner needs to be charged. And if that does not happen, then I would move for demolition after 30 days. It's about time we start standing up to these types of cockroaches, and I use that term loosely, who come in. He wants to buy this home for $1,000. $1,000. So that the family who lives next door has to live in a degraded quality of life. It stunk over there in the summertime. I could just imagine what it was like today with it being warm. If we don't start sending a message now to these types of homeowners or these types of landlords, we are encouraging this issue. So I guess legally, Attorney Wenner, what can I do?
Let me just jump in.
I was thinking, Counselor, based on our abandoned properties ordinance, based on the admissions by the defendant in this letter, would this property be primed to be subject to the responsibilities of the lender foreclosing on the property and subsequently being required to provide for the care of the building?
If the property, so assuming that the property is in fact in foreclosure, and assuming the property is in fact abandoned, then yes, they would be, that lender would be subject to the abandoned properties ordinance recently enacted by the town council. But those criteria have to be met. Obviously, it has to be foreclosure and it has to be abandoned as well.
Council President, is that the case? Is it an abandoned property? Obviously, you can't answer about the foreclosure, but...
Correct, Councilman. My personal opinion, with the amount of traffic that's been in and out of that building, I do not believe that it's been abandoned. Mr. Einholz was just seen on the property approximately a week ago with his caretaker, where they had placed plastic over the windows so no one could see in. Yes, sir.
If I may say something, why don't we, I know Kevin has a list for that property. If I'm correct, is that right, Mayor?
That is right.
Kevin has a list. Why don't we get that list and give it to Rich and say he has 30 days to fix it?
I will give him 30 days. I would agree with that, 30 days. After 30 days, if it's not fixed, I want them back here or I want that place demolished.
Right, so, all right, so if I could do a kind of a hybrid simulation of what was discussed, I would appreciate the opportunity to send correspondence to the property owner and all lien holders who are holding an interest in the property, advising that that property was discussed before the town council on February 20th, that serious concerns exist amongst the town council and they're prepared to take serious action, and they will take action again 30 days from now to bring it back, all right? In the meantime, here's a list from from Kevin Duddy, who is the church code official of the town of Phillipsburg, recommending that certain steps be taken, and then if they're not taken, all the more reason for us 30 days from now to say, okay, here's justification for moving forward with the appropriate action.
So on that list, does anyone know what is on that list? Because I haven't.
I'm looking at it right now.
You are.
I am. In need of rehabilitation in a reasonable judgment, or the mayor?
No, I believe the punch list that the inspector has.
Oh.
Because
I can talk, the mayor and I have been talking, so I can work with the mayor. No, not a problem.
Mayor, is the basement and the attic on that punch list? Because when the police went in, I believe it was disgusting.
there really isn't a punch list right now for repairs. Kevin follows the Uniform Construction Code, and as far as he was concerned, there wasn't anything dangerous in the house. However, it's a nuisance because of the odor, because of the water problem. We did find water dripping on the electrical outlet, which was corrected, and the next move is to clean it up. I have permission to go into the home. Mr. Hay is going to go in to condemn it because it could be a fire hazard. And once that happens, we have the right to walk in and clean it and lean it. And that's in the process of happening.
Okay, yes, I would like to acknowledge the family that is here, that is being affected by this, because I do believe during these habitability hearings, we should be hearing more from those that are affected. Mayor, I do thank you. I know that you were on the property earlier this week. The Moore family had let us know. Mr. and Mrs. Moore?
Well, we've done this thing for 20 years. He's never kept his word about anything. He's never made a repair. I have a copy of a certified letter sent to your inspection department dated June 1st, 2016, without obvious violation of code. And a letter and a list on the back from their own code telling the reference of authority they have. Nothing's been done. The mortgage holder has sent an inspector on 4 occasions, starting in August, telling, warning us, I guess, that the owners have the right to go in and winterize the building. There's a photocopy, after the photo, there's 1, there's 2, and 2 times since, and it's folded and marked confidential, which I guess we're not allowed to see that now. They took no action. During January, we could listen to the pipes popping over there. The radiator leaks are leaking all over the place. The water pipes have to be broken. I don't know why they're not leaking more since it's been warm. So we fear for our safety. And my wife offer them to the issue.
Is the water turned off to the property currently?
Yes.
It is.
It's turned off at the curb.
Okay,
But there's no
so
guarantee that they couldn't have it turned back on.
that is correct.
Someone's paying for all of the utilities at that house. They were all turned off when the last tenants moved out. Now the electric's back on, they're running fans, unattended. We don't know, and they covered windows so we couldn't, can't see in there to know what's going on. There's candles sitting on the floor, they're burning candles for God.
Come on.
Shit, this can't be left.
So as to the issue of getting access to the building, you heard what the mayor said regarding Fire Chief Hayes, potential condemning of the property and then getting access. The town can also get what's called an administrative search warrant, and that's under the Board of Health statutes, which enables a municipality under the purview of the Board of Health to actually apply for and receive a search warrant from the Superior Court of New Jersey in order to go in and investigate the potential existence of an issue that causes a detriment to the health, safety, and public welfare of the local residents. And that's based upon reasonable suspicion, upon information and belief. It's a very low standard, as Councilman Vivek can attest to, from a police standpoint. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not even clear and convincing. It's upon information and belief. So that tool is available to the town as well. And then once the Board of Health goes in there, or an agent acting on behalf of the Board of Health, they go in there and they notice and see and document.
Not to interrupt you, but we've called the Board of Health dozens of times.
Sure.
They tell us to call the town.
Right.
We call the town, they tell us to call the Board of Health. Nothing's being done. 30 days is a long time as an attorney at this point.
And why should we every day have to smell it? I can't handle it anymore.
And when the warm weather comes, all those eggs were deposited by those 10,000 cockroaches that were running all over our house. We'll start hatching.
Right, so my point in what I just said was that the administrative search warrant can act as a means of short-circuiting the delay that might be attended in going through the county and asking the county to step in, and then punting back to the town, and there being kind of wires that are crossed in terms of who does what. The application can be made to the Superior Court. We've done it before, not in the town of Phillipsburg, but other municipalities. We've done that, and we've actually had a Superior Court judge sign off on the warrant, and then we're at the house with the police officers, and we're gaining entry just as you would on a criminal search warrant.
How soon do you think we can get in there?
If the warrant is signed off on, the application is granted, you can get in there. It's an emergent application, so today is Tuesday. You know, everything going well, you can get in there by Friday.
Mayor, I believe, is that
So
something
that
the
would
mayor's
be, that would
office?
be in conjunction with the mayor's office and working with the mayor on that. We would just want, you know, blessing from both parties, so to speak, in terms of the legislative branch,
I
and
agree.
executive branch.
I think we're on the same page with this one, yes?
We do have access to the building
We do.
by the owner. And we did tear down Friday, the Moors were there, we ripped down all the plastic covering the windows so that what they were hiding and not hiding. This week, we should be able to get that condemnation from Mr. Hay. If
Excellent.
there's anything that prevents the fire department from accessing the fire, and I'm sure Patrolman Victor would verify that, you can come disappear. You can, Rich has the right to deem it a safety hazard, fire safety hazard, which will do.
Excellent. Do you mind if I go with you?
No, sure, you can come out.
Thank you. So we can do that this week?
Sure.
Great. Mr. and Mrs. Moore, is that appropriate?
That's
Do
fine,
you feel good with that? Excellent.
thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you, Mayor.
Just as a continuation, I'm very glad that we're going to be handling this, the urgent cause. I do think that continuation, that's why I'm on my phone, I'm pulling up the reasons why we can find a property to be vacant. I mean, they have a notice on the door that says this is a vacant property, which I think is a pretty good sign, that's actually a vacant property. So,
It's not a vacant.
yeah. Well, so we have criteria that we can establish. For example, if any of the utilities are disconnected. So that is one criteria that we can meet. Accumulation of junk litter, trash, or debris on the property. There's about 13 of them. I'm sure that, and we have to meet 2. We can consider it to be vacant and notify the lien holder if indeed the property is in foreclosure, as has been stipulated, which should be easy to find through record search. And the reason I'm insistent upon it is because under this ordinance, since this is property in foreclosure, if they don't remedy it after notification within 30 days, if they're an in-state entity, we can fine them $1,500 per day. If they're an out-of-state entity, we can fine them $2,500 per day. And if we establish the criteria for what needs to be rectified in accordance with the ordinance, it's as simple as sending a police officer out each day that the violation continues to verify that the condition has not been improved. So my recommendation would be the hybrid of both of these approaches, which is first, remedy the immediate issues that are degrading the quality of life for the neighbors, secondarily for the long-term fixes to hold the lender accountable and to fine them accordingly if they don't come into accordance with our requests.
Councilman, I have no problem with that as long as we remedy the situation as soon as possible for the Moore family.
Yep, no objection to that.
Yes, sir.
You have to reread that one sentence there that says, this property is not vacant. It says,